Hi everyone, Sally here. Welcome to Menopause Mindset Monday. This is the place to get inspiration and motivation on how to have a better menopause and midlife transition using the power of our mindset and our perspective. Hi everyone on Facebook. Hi everyone on Instagram. Happy Bank Holiday Monday. How are you doing today? Have you had a good day so far? Let me know. So this is the third in the video series all about entrepreneurship at menopause, and today we're focusing on the topic of time and time limitation. So the title of today's talk, workshop, masterclass, whatever you want to call it, is how to grow a business in limited time. So please watch to the end because I am going to announce something very special. So, okay, let's talk about this. Lack of time is why a lot of people never really start their entrepreneurial journey, and it's also why they kind of ditch their entrepreneurial journey as well. So, usually lack of time can come from three types of obstructions, and those obstructions are usually to do with kids, family, other responsibilities, usually to do with having another job on the side, whether it's a full-time job or a part-time job, or it might be to do with having limited energy, and especially at menopause and midlife. You know, this comes up time and time again. I just don't have the energy. I've got brain fog, or this lack of confidence that we can feel. So, you know, there are many obstructions to starting and growing a business that are to do with time. But I am going to tell you something pretty radical in that, well, here it is. Let me just throw it out there. Limited time is actually the best asset you have. So just let that sink in, all right? And I'm going to tell you why in a minute. Limited time is the best asset that you have. If you think you know why that is, let me know. But I just also want to tell you something similar that was said to me when I was at university doing songwriting. So one of our songwriting instructors said, if the more limits you give yourself, the better your song will be. So, you know, this is true because I've often seen musicians who have incredible talents. They play every single instrument under the sun, and yet they can't write a damn song because there's too much opportunity. There's too much choice. It's like going into a supermarket and just being faced with all of this choice. I don't know about you, but I'm always having like little mini panic attacks in supermarkets because I feel overwhelmed. There's too much choice. When there's too much choice, there's not enough limitation. When we limit our time or our possibilities, we come up with more creative ways to problem solve. So it's all about problem solving. The more limits we have, the more we squeeze our ability to problem solve. And I'm hugely passionate about this. What happens is we get laser beam focused. So when we get laser beam focused, we have if you think about a laser beam's all its energy is focused on one spot, and it has the ability to cut through metal. So it has the ability to change matter. And when you are focused like a laser beam, you have the ability to cut through life and to change matter. If you are like a light bulb, if your light is like a light bulb, your energy is scattered and it's all over the place. It's 360 degrees, which is nice. You light up a room, which is lovely, but you can't change matter like a laser beam. When you focus like a laser beam, you can change matter. And this is what limitation gives us, the ability to focus like a laser beam so that we can just get the job done. It really does ignite our creativity. So if you are limited in time, money, energy, that's a really good thing because it means that you have an opportunity there to dig deep within you and problem solve. Yeah, and so most entrepreneurs, or certainly most entrepreneurs that I know of, successful ones, have had some kind of limitation imposed upon them. So my friend business coach and mentor, Kirsty, she's got 3 kids, a dog, a cat, an active social life, a husband, and 3 businesses as well. So that's quite a lot of stuff that she's got going on. And she's been able to make that happen whilst having 3 kids. You know, she's grown those 3 businesses as well. So I'm sure that, you know, there are many people in your life, if you look for them, or there are many examples of people who have created a business or a project or done something out of limitation. Just have to look at athletes who have disabilities. I mean, really, are they actual disabilities? You know, that is a perceived limitation, but yet out of that has come so much. And, you know, from a personal point of view, I can say hand on heart, I have not had the gift of limitation. I don't have children. I don't have another job. I do this full time. I have loads of energy. And actually, let me tell you, in the past, that has not stood me in great stead. That's actually, you know, not having a limitation has actually been a limitation for me. Now I recognize that, I'm much more able to use my time so much more wisely, whereas before I was trying and juggling so many things and I was just on a treadmill, not really getting anywhere. Trying this idea, that idea. I had Brighton Pop Choir. I did something called Egg Yoga. I did adult group sing-alongs. I did drop-in choir. I did trios. I did mindfulness for singers. All sorts of bits and bobs, which I never really utilised the power of the laser beam focus. So there we go. All right, so I'm going to give you 7 tips on how to grow your business on limited time. Let me have a quick swig. Okay, so number 1, make sure that you are really confident that your idea can actually make money. Otherwise, you could be wasting a lot of time. And at midlife, we don't have the luxury of time. We can't waste that time. There's that feeling of we've got to get it right now, you know, because what the decisions that we make now will impact the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years of our life. So the stakes are much higher. We have much more skin in the game at this age. And I believe it's because the stakes are higher that more and more people at midlife are starting businesses and being successful at them. It's because of the stakes. It's because they have so much more to risk at this point in their life. That's why it's important to get it right. But that's also why it's a good time to utilize this stakes are higher feeling. So this is about doing the groundwork. So this is about laying the foundations. Now, most people go into their business ideas, especially I know I did when I was in my 20s, just guns blazing, thinking, yep, I can do it. Yep, I have this sort of can-do attitude. And that's great because we need that passion to fuel our projects. But when we get to midlife, we need to lay the foundations. We need to know if it's actually going to work. So, yeah. So how can we lay our foundations then? How can we figure out if our idea is actually going to work? So I think I've got 3 or 4 suggestions for you. Number 1 is to really start documenting some of your key feelings and assumptions about your business. So they include, why are you doing it? You've got to know why you're doing it. Is it mission driven? What problems are you solving? Now, this is really, really important because we as consumers are motivated by having pain points soothed. Usually people are motivated by convenience. If something's really, really convenient, like Deliveroo or Uber, that's probably going to succeed. Also, is it making your client feel good? So we are motivated to buy because we are motivated by feeling good. That's why, spas or coaching or some kind of support generated industry is probably going to work, because people need and like to feel good. They also need and like convenience. So, know what problem you're solving. How are your potential customers already solving this problem, and how can you do it better? This is a good one. And then really knowing and understanding what your unique selling point is. So, of course, there are thousands of coaches, there are thousands of beauty therapists, there are thousands of plumbers, there are thousands of photographers, probably even millions. What makes you different? Now, when you were a kid, the things that made you different probably hurt you. But now you're an adult, those things that make you different set you apart. They are now your USP. So is it that you are older? Is that your USP? Is it that you focus on purely organic? Is it that you are a male in a female-dominated industry, or vice versa? Have you heard of the Pink Builders? They are a gay-friendly building company. How beautiful is that? Or I think I've seen the lesbian photographer, and I've definitely seen the female plumber. What sets you apart? So for me, my USP is I do menopause, but I approach it from a mindset point of view. I've got the RTT. That's my USP in the menopause space. That's what sets me apart from other professionals in the menopause space who perhaps focus more on the physical. So, all right. So where are we? We're talking about doing the groundwork, finding out if your idea can actually make money. How do we do that? Number 2 is that you must talk to your potential clients. You need to find out what they really think about your idea. So get on a call with them and find out. This is also a really great way to start building and developing those personal relationships that you need to grow a business. People like to be needed. People like to be asked. People like to feel like they're getting in at the beginning of something because it makes them feel special, significant, and important. This is also another good reason for you to start a Facebook group or a podcast or a YouTube channel or some kind of community where you can ask people about your idea and stuff. Yeah, it's an opportunity for you to test the water before you sell. So number 3 is to show your potential customers a prototype. So this might be in the way of doing a freebie. So a free workshop, a free masterclass, a free massage, a free experience. Some people do this by lead magnets. I do this by giving these masterclasses every week. A little freebie, a little touch point, so they can test run or even beta test, especially if it's a piece of technology, your idea. And then you want to get their feedback. So if any of you have got any feedback for me, please let me know. It's invaluable. Feedback is so invaluable to companies. And then take on that feedback and tell them that it's been very useful and very special. So number 4, tell people what you are thinking of charging, and then ask them if they think that's good, or what would they pay, for example. Ask them to be really, really honest and open up the conversation about money. It's very useful to have these conversations. Also, when it comes to charging and money, look at what your competitors are charging and then value yours based on your own unique offering and your own USP. You can always put your prices up later on down the line, but it's definitely a good idea to try to get those price points right from the get-go, especially if you've got to create like a menu or something that's not easily changeable. Yeah. So this whole entire phase of doing the groundwork is really about spending time on this so that you don't get it wrong. And also spending a little bit of time on the envisioning process, spending a bit of time on the scheduling, spending a bit of time on the planning. So plan first, know what your ultimate mission is, know what your yes point is, what you're going to say yes to, what you're going to say no to. So for productivity, I really like to use Asana. I'm big on Asana. I've only really just started using it, but because I've got so many ideas going around in my head that was exhausting me, I really felt like I had to kind of get it all out. And Asana has been really good for that. You can divide all your projects up and color code all your projects, and then within your projects you can have like lists of lists with deadline dates. You can upload documents and photographs and things like that. Just helps keep sort of everything all in one space so that it's not cluttered, so that you're not writing all of your ideas out over and over again on a piece of paper which was me before. So that was number one. Really, just do the groundwork. You've got to know if your product is actually going to make money, if it's going to be viable. Usually these things are, unless they're completely off the wall and avant-garde. But, even the off the wall and avant-garde things can make money as long as they are making people feel good, and as long as you're bettering a product that's already there, and as long as I've forgotten the third one. Oh yeah, it's going to add to the convenience of someone's life. If it's going to take away from convenience, then it's probably not going to work. That's why, everything on Zoom is just so convenient now. That's why Zoom has just taken off. All right, so number 2. I keep having to remind myself what we're talking about today, but it's all about time, isn't it? So how to grow your business on a limited amount of time. Number 2. Are you ready? Sleep. This is about creating more available time in your day that you can dedicate to work. So we all know that there's only 24 hours in the day. Each and every one of us on the planet are subject to those same restrictions, which is a good thing. Remember what I said in the beginning. So how do we utilize those 24 hours much better? This is about becoming more efficient, more effective, and more productive. And for me, this starts with sleep. So without sleep, we can't do our exercise. If we can't do our exercise, we can't generate those endorphins. We can't generate those levels of productivity. Sleep, sleep, sleep. Now, there used to be this really old narrative that sleep is for lazy people, sleep is for losers. But we know now that is absolutely not true. In fact, all high-performance athletes have to get their sleep right. If they don't get their sleep right, they can't be a high-performance athlete, entrepreneur, public speaker, business person, whatever. And you've got to be the master of your own life. You've got to be the leader of your own life, the high performer of your own life. So sleep gives you energy. It gives you a huge amount of energy. So, Greg McKeown calls sleep protecting the asset. So sleep is the asset which creates your ability to have energy. What you do with that energy comes a bit later, but we need that energy first. So we've got to let go of those old ideas that sleep is a luxury, sleep is for failures, sleep breeds laziness, sleep gets in the way of doing it all. And what we need is to flip it, to turn it on its head, to know that actually sleep is for high performers. Sleep is a priority. Sleep breeds creativity. We can't be creative when we can't problem solve when we haven't slept. Sleep enables the highest levels of mental contribution and power. So for me, I am writing a whole course about sleep, which is going to be launched the end of this year, beginning of next year. It's going to start in February next year. I have suffered with insomnia. I know I just sleep. Yeah. For me, it's been about creating a non-negotiable bedtime routine. So, I'm early to bed, early to rise, because we have much more cognitive fuel in the morning. So I get up around 5:30 or 6:30, usually go to bed about 9, between 9 and 10, sometimes 10:30. And for me, the mornings are my kind of power moments. I can get so much done in the morning, and then, after a couple of hours, I've been super productive, then I might have a little bit of a nap to refuel. Napping is also phenomenally powerful for the brain. A 20-minute theta brainwave nap is hugely it's hugely powerful for our productivity. So that's what I advocate, that's what I advise. And actually, I'm going to be launching very soon some hypnosis recordings for menopausal symptoms. But even if you don't have any menopausal symptoms, you can still listen to them and have a wonderful theta nap experience in the afternoon, which will give you, I think it's like every 20 minutes of theta gives you 2 hours extra of productivity a day. So this is about asking yourself, where might you be wasting time in the evening that's preventing you from getting to bed on time? Are you watching too much telly? Are you going down the YouTube rabbit hole? Are you going down the Facebook and Instagram rabbit hole? What limitations do you need to place on your evening so that you can get to bed earlier, create more sleep, so that you can then become super productive in the morning and all through the day? Yeah. Body before business. Yeah. Okay. So that was sleep. So number 3 is all about laser beaming your focus. So number 1, your product can make money. You're confident that you can make money from your product. Number 2, you've generated some extra time. You've got some sleep, getting some really good sleep. Now, when you sit down and work, you have to laser beam your focus. So how do you do that? So number 1, choose what you are going to do, and then choose the amount of time you are going to do it for. So be realistic. Don't say I'm going to create this masterclass in 20 minutes. That's probably not going to happen. But if 20 minutes is all you've got, then 20 minutes it has to be. And so you need to work within that time limitation. What can you create within that time limitation? And it doesn't matter if it's not perfect. It just has to be done. So managing your own expectations around what is possible in the time that you have. So this is about, again, choosing what is important. It's those income generating tasks that are going to be the most important. And those are going to be the ones that you want to get done first. And usually these are the scary ones. These are the ones we usually put on the back burner, but these are the ones we need to get done first. We need to get them out of the way. These could be things like, doing your Facebook lives, your Instagram lives. They could be phoning that client. They could be sending an email to that client, checking in with the client, sending a little video out to somebody, touching base with somebody. The income generating task. What is the thing that's going to generate the income for you? Usually it is the relationship building stuff, the connection with others, rather than the back end stuff, the behind the scenes stuff, the admin type pursuits. So then this is looking at really eliminating the fluffy stuff, the time consuming stuff, the stuff that really doesn't need to be done, or the stuff that can wait. So I used to sort of get up and do my laundry, and now I just don't even bother. I do my laundry. I farm it out now. So yeah, eliminating the fluffy tasks. Think about which tasks will produce the best and the quickest results and which will not. So Greg McKeown says, bring forth more by removing. Bring forth more by removing instead of doing more. So subtract, prune. In songwriting, they call it killing your darlings. killing your darlings. So we think that everything is important, everything is urgent, but that's not true. This is just about, sometimes elevating your perspective to see what is in fact income generating, what is really important. And then either outsourcing or putting to one side or doing them later, those other tasks that are a bit fluffy. Because we need to make sure we've got a business. If we've got a business, if we're generating income, that's a nice problem to have. Then we can figure out who we can get to do all of the other tasks. There are so many beautiful, wonderful, amazing VAs out there now that can help you with all of that stuff. You don't need to do it alone. Yeah, and some of these things might be obstacles that you are putting in your own way as well, like mental obstacles or the fear of failing or stuff like that. So it's getting really clear on how you are standing in your own way, time-wise, with your own beliefs and your own sort of mental limitations that you have on yourself. But let me just recheck here what I've said. Identify the obstacles. What is going to prevent me from getting this done? Is it kids banging on the door? Is it lack of sleep? Is it bad nutrition? Is it fear? Is it the fact that you don't have good connections? Like what's really stopping you from getting from A to B? And this is about just doing a bit of an audit. So taking some time to do a little bit of an audit to find out. Some people do way too much research on stuff. They're just constantly going down that rabbit hole of research and bouncing, just like a pinball, just going around the internet like this, gathering and accumulating information, when actually you probably got a lot of the information that you need now to start generating interests in your business. You probably don't need more information. Information is something that we have a plethora of. Are you spending too much time on relationship building and not enough time on building your product? You've got this huge audience, but you're just delaying. You don't have anything to sell to them. So it's really about, asking yourself what needs to be the priority right now. Some people rewrite reports, don't they, or emails until it's absolutely perfectly word for word. But this can just really eat into your time, and it's not necessarily an income generating task. So don't let perfection be the enemy of good. And, remembering that done is, in most cases, better than perfect. Perfection is unachievable. The quality of perfectionism really is actually more about people pleasing. Of course, we can seek excellence in our lives, and that's what we're trying to do, but we don't want to let the sort of fear of rejection hold us back from putting our work out there. One of the things I like to do when I'm sitting down to work, this is number 2, is putting everything on airplane mode. So when I'm creating these masterclasses for you, I just put everything on airplane mode. So no distractions, no WhatsApp messages, no emailing. I'm just in the zone and I can get it done really quickly. Otherwise, it would take me probably double the amount of time to do it. Number 3 is really about setting boundaries. This is such a big subject. I mean, we could talk about this forever, but when we're looking at the time limitations and our finite amount of time that we've got in a day, we can't be everything for everyone. So we do need to set boundaries with our friends, our colleagues, our family. And most people don't do this because they worry about upsetting somebody. But you need to flip that story, because when you set boundaries, people know where they stand with you, and that makes them feel good. That makes them feel better. So yeah, like a lot of people in my world know that I probably won't answer a social text until the evening, or possibly sometimes until the morning, because I sort of reserve my evenings for no technology at all. So sometimes I wait until the weekend to respond to social things, but that's because at the moment I'm really focusing on business. But it might be different for you. So yeah, your boundaries are good. Your boundaries are good. Because other people will know that they will actually get the best of you rather than the crabby, irritated part of you, which nobody wants to see. So, setting boundaries could mean talking to your kids about what it means if the door is closed. Putting your phone on airplane mode. I've said that before. Get it out in the open. It's also important to understand what is not your problem. Many of us, really feel like we need to be needed. We need to be needed, basically. But, again, that's not a great modus operandi to be living in, because it just means we go everywhere with our attention. Our attention just goes everywhere. And let me just reframe this. Hang on. You also need to understand what is not your problem and what is not. I said that twice. Many of us need to be needed, and so we tend to other people's problems before really giving it much thought or scheduling it in. You can schedule time in to tend to other people's problems. But that's not a modus operandi that we need to adopt when we are trying to build a business. So this is about understanding what deserves your attention fully and what doesn't. This is about understanding other people's agenda and asking them to be respectful of your agenda. So, knowing what other people's agenda is, and then recognizing it and understanding that that's not your agenda. What is your agenda is building your business at this time, because there are a finite amount of hours in the day, and you need to make sure you get your stuff done. So most people think if they set boundaries, this causes limits, constraints, and also it's a real effort to say no. But again, you want to flip that. And understand that boundaries actually help us to become way more limitless. So boundaries liberate us from that too much to do agenda, right? And also the whole being part of other people's agenda as well. This is about you living life on your own terms, writing your own story so that you can put the ending on it that you want. This is about you understanding what rules need to be in place for you to get the job done. Once the rules are in place, you can set them out. What rules need to be in place with your family? What rules need to be in place with your friends, your clients as well? Your clients need to know what the rules are. For me, my WhatsApp support is business hours only, 9 till 5, Monday to Friday. If you do send me a message outside of those times, I will respond at my own discretion. If I'm inspired to, I will. If not, you're going to have to wait, and they know that. They respect that. People like it when you set boundaries. Kids like it when you set boundaries because they know where they stand. Otherwise, people will always try to push the agenda with you in the same way that you push the agenda with others. We're motivated by trying to get what we need, get what we want. That was a big one, wasn't it? All of that was about laser beaming your focus. All right, these next few ones are a bit shorter. So number 4 then is really about expanding your energy. So when you are working on your tasks, this is about not contracting against them. So remembering that time is a feeling. Time is linear, but we want to try and get into a different way of looking at time, in that time is a feeling. So when you contract against time and you panic and you go faster, you contract time, you make time speed up. Therefore, your perception of time becomes more contracted and you feel like there is less time. So when you are doing your task, I want you to relax the walls of your muscles. I want you to breathe deeply. I want you to expand into the task. I want you to imagine that perhaps you've got more time than you have. Maybe don't do that actually, because I know people that do that and it doesn't work well for them. I suppose it's really about knowing yourself. So, yeah, I mean, really like relaxing your muscles. That's what I'm trying to say. When you relax into your body, you can expand time a little bit. Put some theta music on in the background. Make sure you set your intentions. Relax your jaw. It's very easy, isn't it, to grip against life. Occasionally look away from your screen, look up, look out, look at the view, look at a plant if you don't have a view or a window, or look at some flowers. And trust. This is a big one. I think this is why we contract against time, because we don't trust in our own capabilities. Trust that you can do this. Trust that you have the wisdom that you need. You have the resources you need. There are no shortages of resources these days. We are so connected. You can literally find whatever it is that you want like that. All right, so number 5 in our pursuit against time is to automate. So, I mean, automation really is the thing that is enabling solopreneurism these days, because technology is enabling us to do the job of 2 or 3 other people. So I have Acuity Scheduling, which is my online booking system for all my appointments, all my discovery calls, all my reminders, all my follow-up emails. It's just absolutely brilliant. There are other things that you can use like Infusionsoft, Kajabi, which I'm migrating over to at the moment. There's BombBomb, which sends out these, actually that's not an automation service, so scrap that. I think there's something called 17 Hats, which does all your CRM. It's really good, particularly if you're a therapist or a coach. There's the other one, which is Practice Better. So everything is automated. Everything is in one place. You really, really need to make sure things are automated. You don't want to be, looking here, there, and everywhere for your systems. And this really is playing into number 6, which is systematize. So the more you can systematize your processes in your business, the easier it's going to be for you to outsource them when the time comes. If you're just sort of living your business life on a wing and a prayer and don't really have a system or a structure, you're never going to be able to outsource them when the time comes. So, systematizing your process from, all the way from the beginning, really, client relationship building, when you're a nobody in your client's eyes, all the way through your client journey to the onboarding, and then into the product or service that you offer, and then trying to maintain that relationship for life. That is a whole cycle that needs automating. It's quite hard. Some things are quite hard to automate, like building relationships, because you need a real person at the end of that. But if you've got a great VA or somebody that's working for you that can replicate your tone, your ethos, your mission, then even that's going to be interchangeable, systematizable rather. All right, number 7 then. Finally, we're at the end. Number 7 is all about taking a little bit of time out to reflect. Because when we reflect, we zoom out, we lift up, we get that bird's eye view of our work. And when we get that bird's eye view, it enables us to see what is working, what's not working, which gives us more ability to eliminate the fluff, to kill our darlings, to subtract. So very important to reflect. And if you can actually remove yourself physically from your business to do this, even better. It's amazing what some time away can do for us. Our energy levels, again, energy is our best asset, and just that perspective shift. So yeah, the quickest way to make you unproductive with your time is to flatten your mojo. So regular timeouts will keep that spark alive. Yeah, reflection is best. Asking your so I reflect probably, good sort of 3 times a year. Probably need to do it a bit more actually, but going away from, here. All right, I think that is it, everyone. So I just want to conclude all of that for you, and then I'm going to make my special announcement, which I'm really excited about. So if you want to grow your business in limited time, here's what you've got to do. You've got to know, can your idea make money? Test it, don't guess. Number 2, protect your biggest asset, your brain. Get some sleep. Cultivate energy. You're going to need energy if you're going to be laser beaming your focus, which brings me to my next point, laser beam your focus. So this is about income generating tasks. Prioritize them. Remove the fluff, subtract. Done is better than perfect. Set your boundaries, set your own expectations and other people's expectations. Number 4, expand your energy. This means don't contract while you're working. Relax your muscles. Trust yourself. Get into that Einstein time, not Newton time. Put on some theta music, like get into the expanded space. Number 5, automate what you can. Number 6, systematize your client journey all the way from beginning to end. Number 7, take some time out and reflect. That reflection process will enable you to figure out what's working, what's not working, and keep realigning the things that you do on a daily basis with your bigger mission. Okay, so here's my announcement. So my friend, my coach, my business mentor, Kirsty Kianifard, has created some amazing free training for you. So if you are thinking of starting or scaling a wellness business, you are going to want to be involved in this free training. So it's called How to Confidently Start and Scale Your Wellness Business. So I took this last year and it was amazing for me. Definitely was, step 1 on my journey to doing what I'm doing now. So let me tell you a little bit more about this masterclass, and then I'm going to show you how you can sign up and how you can register for it. So what she's going to be talking about are the biggest wellness industry shifts that are happening at the moment. Now, of course, she's going to be talking about the pandemic and what that means for the wellness industry, because old school practices are no longer working. They no longer cut it. You can't just put an advert out on Google. You can't just put a Facebook advert out and hope for the best. You can't create a business on a wing and a prayer. You can't create a business on a hope and a wish, right? Just doesn't work anymore. So she's going to tell you the biggest wellness industry shifts. Number 2, she's going to tell you her short list of business growth strategies. These include Insta stories, Insta reels, Facebook lives, podcasting, email newsletters, and what you need to really know to be pushing your business forward. Now, I know it's enough to make an entrepreneur go absolutely crazy, but she's going to tell you what is working now so that you can jump on that bandwagon and you don't need to do all the trial and error stuff. And number 3, she's going to tell you how to know where to spend your time and your money to ensure that you can ditch this crippling overwhelm that we all experience. This crippling overwhelm, this endless confusion, by really identifying your unique business blueprint that's going to help set you up for success. I think this is really, really invaluable, knowing how to spend your time and your money as well. So how do you sign up for this? This is kirstykianifard.com/Sally I'm in, without the apostrophe on the I'm. So that's Kirsty Kianifard /Sally, I'm in. I'm in. Sorry. So that is my own personal affiliate link. So I would really appreciate it if you've enjoyed this masterclass. If you've been watching any of my other masterclasses, please, please, please stick to that link, because it means I get a little bit of income for my efforts. Yeah, that's it. That's it. I'm going to put the link, actually. If you're watching on Facebook, I'll put it above. If you're watching on Instagram, I'll put it in the description. If you're watching on YouTube, I'll put it below. So that's it. So next week next week is number 4 in our 5 series tutorials on business, setting up your business at menopause. And this is going to be called How to Start Charging, or How to Start Charging More. And that's going to be Tuesday at 2 p.m. So I'll see you there. Have a beautiful bank holiday. Wishing you lots of love, and I'll see you next week. Bye.